Would are the genuine souls all essentially good, or are there evil souls? Or do
It's
souls
not
get lost?
necessary.
They get lost in the programming and become, and that's what we
Yeah.
call evil. So the bare soul, without any of the nonsense, we you could say are good, if you want to
Yes.
boil it down to one word. That there's a lot of depression, and depression leads to drug abuse and all sorts of stuff. And
Well, yeah, it's more of you lost, the soul loses its will. Yeah. Yeah, no, the soul loses its will, and when a soul loses its will, it also loses its power. It's, hope, power, will,
okay,
knowledge. Yeah. So that's what happens. I mean, even when because you can never be cut off from your soul. That's impossible. But you can lower the soul's field in a sense, or transition it, or make it believe, or step out of love. And when it does that, then it turns into what people call a demonish expressing of the opposite of love. And so, yeah, you have a lot of people here that are that. And a lot of people are not in the awareness of that which they're doing. And you have a lot of people that are completely aware of the lies and deceptions and everything that they're doing as well, you know, because they've fallen so far away from their state. You could say, you could say they feel they can't go back to, I'll just say in terms for it's easy to understand, they can't go back to heaven, but they can. No, no, you can't have unconditional love with the judgment. And so,
right.
so when people think of the construct or the universe, what I talk about when I say we live within a created construct, replace the word construct for those that need to say universe with the universe. It's the same thing. It's just different terminology. When people think of the planet or a ball spinning in space, it's not like that. It's actually like this. So what we have is, as I've observed this many times, and I also want to say as well, you could see me zooming in, yes?
I can. I just don't fully understand what I'm seeing.
Okay, yeah, yeah, no, I'll break it down. As long as you could see my mouse and me
Yep,
zooming in, then I'll
100%.
break it
Yep.
down. Okay. So when people think of space and things like that, in my first time also seeing this from the other side, I didn't believe that which what I was seeing, like because I thought, okay, this has to be a ball, a space, a planet. But no. So what you see here is this. If you follow my mouse, this is what they call the firmament, the water above. The water's above. You could
Okay.
say people here are looking from the other side inside of this God's creation, the firmament, this construct. And down here is a flat plane. And you could say this construct does have corners to it, four corners, which are the fixed and immovable pillars of this earthly realm. And when you look at when you look at also a lot of the numbers as well, you'll see even in the text it says that this earthly realm has four corners to it, and those are the four pillars, you could say. Now, even down here, when you're on the other side, you could say there's many other constructs, and I viewed them similar to this, where I was walking around viewing them as open fish bowls on the floor, like literally. Imagine if you're a soul, like this guy on the other side. See that guy?
Yep.
Yeah. So you're a soul on the other side, completely outside of all constructs. You're on the true state of home, where your soul creates constructs or creates realms and creates universes to have an experience. So that's what you're seeing here from that point of view, God's point of view, where then you see these multitude of different constructs, different existence, different universes, all created by the will of each individual soul to have whatever experience that they desire, ultimate expression of true freedom, experiencing whatever it is that you want. And so this construct looks like this. Okay. And then even when you go into this image here, this was just another one that I put together to try to
These people we
get
see are
people,
on the other side. They're looking into
yes,
the construct. Okay.
yeah, yeah, yeah. So these are people from the other side looking into this construct creation. And when you look into it, let's just say this is the firmament, the container of all of the 12 heavens. Yeah. So this is the firmament, the container of all the heavens. And you could say, let's just call this God to let people follow along. But, we all are gods and we all are souls viewing this from the other side too. And you could say when you look within this, you could see all of the different heavens within this singular construct. And this is where I put this image here, what you could see here. This image, which was basically trying to break down that we are within the first heaven. You could say realm one. And there are firmaments and layers to this where you access your second heaven, your third heaven, your fourth heaven, etc. Yeah. Does
Okay.
that make sense so far?
Yeah.
Okay. And this is what when people, and I also want to say this as well. Every near-death experiencer does actually see this, because this is what when I first viewed this as the balls or the many different constructs stacked on God's shelves, just due to my stuff that I believed in, I viewed it as this before, like a ball. That's how I seen it, and it is a ball. That is true. But the more that you target this, the more that you see this, you see that it actually is just the firmament, the water separated from the waters above. And this is the lie. This is the truth. Even when you look up certain things about the nature of this place, too, you'll see that they have this as like just one flat plane spinning in space. Nothing like that. Space is not space. It's not a vacuum. Actually, space is what you would consider water, because water are part of the Stargate portals as well. But if you have a question, so that I'm not just rambling on,
Yeah.
if you have a
I'll
question
throw,
about this
I'll throw
and
one
this,
question in. Well,
okay,
it's about what you said. You said we're all gods, but then you also say that God. So
yeah. Now, okay.
this,
So the reason why I say that, the only reason I say that, is for people based on where they are. It's hard for people to realize that you right now in this physical form, your soul is a eternal being and is God as well. Each individual soul is God. So for the context of explaining the creation of this, I use a singular being so people could follow more easier. Not necessarily that that's true, because there's actually 13 or 12, you could say. But just for the context of simplicity, that's why I
okay,
just use
got it,
God created it.
got it.
Yeah. Otherwise, sometimes people get confused. And even though I state, there's more than one, and we all are it, etc., it's
I
easier to
got it.
follow that way.
All right,
Yeah.
beautiful.
And you know this image too, Dave. And like I just want to say as well, for like the many times that I've already stated this, this was not a thing for me. I was not a believer in the firmaments, the waters above, the creation of this place, like every single ancient civilization has known. And by the way, all these civilizations, these ancient civilizations, weren't in different time periods. They were all the same time period.
Hmm.
So I believed in this. I believed in this stuff, the NASA stuff, which when you look into the Hebrew text of it, or the Greek, I believe, it actually stands for deception. And so it's actually, you're actually, when you follow this path of what they've laid out for you, for even religious people, you're actually following the path of what you consider the opposite of God or Satan. Yeah.
Okay, I have a question. I have a question.
Yeah.
So, in this realm that we're in right now, in this creation, this construct
Mm.
that we're physically experiencing now, you're in Australia, I'm in the United States. There is a lot of deception hiding us from reality. Is that just
Yes.
because somebody created it like that to have this experience, or was it hijacked?
So, yes, this was created to experience that which we are not. That's what I was shown, because let me just go up to this so you could understand. So, this construct was created to experience that which we are not on the other side, but not forever. It was supposed to be a gradual process where you come in here, you forget who you are, and then you slowly remember that we are all gods, and then you jump back into your soul, which is the creation of everything. I mean, your heart, not your soul. You jump back into your heart, which is the creation of everything, and you gradually fall back in love with self in the true meaning of love. And then this becomes the heaven or the Garden of Eden on earth again. That's how it was supposed to be. But you could say, yes, from that also a forgetfulness in coming in here. There are souls that have also come in here as well, in the know, falling so far out of love. Well, yes, they have loop time. They have loop things. Yeah. But that doesn't necessarily mean that you're stuck. And when I say that, people go into a fear-based narrative saying, well, I'm stuck here, I'm stuck here, I'm stuck here. You can never be entrapped or imprisoned unless you believe it to be so. And if you listen to what I said in the beginning, your mere belief in that being so would therefore create it to be so, because you are the ultimate authority in all creation, just like every other soul. But you're just unaware of that and you are convinced otherwise. Therefore, you are underneath the control of another soul's will, not yours. And this was just a short little video that I put together on it as well to show you from God's point of view. Yeah. When you're looking at it from the other side, how you could look into this construct and see the firmament, see the creation, see the heavens, and see these places as well, pop into them. You could say, let's just pause it there. You could say, this is another form of heaven within the entirety of this construct. I say we have 12 heavens, the 13th being the container. You could say the firmament encasing all heavens. Yeah. So this is could be one heaven, as you click play here and go through. That's God creating one heaven within this construct. Yeah. That's another heaven. Total of 12 of them in the entirety of this construct. Yeah,
This
so it's so I use it's a long process to get it right, but you could say sketching certain things and putting it through certain software to try to enhance it. AI now,
All right, I got
to
it.
try to enhance the images. And yeah. And this is what I was talking about before, the corners, the pillars of this very construct that we're in. And I'm not religious, but I'll tell you this, that what's written about in the Bible, not all of it, but there is truth there. Yeah. But it's been a lot of the history has been so rewritten and distorted that the truth is based off one of fear and not understanding the full, it's just all controlling of the soul, even that. And they've done this even inside of it's not just Christianity. They've done this in a lot of the texts and within, let's just say, Buddhism and et cetera, where they think that they need to worship something else. But I won't necessarily get too much into that. But the point is that it is definitely fixed in all of the celestial bodies. Everything is contained within the entirety of this construct. This is where you get the kingdoms in heaven, the certain kingdoms of certain races. Okay. This is another image put together too, where I was saying that when you go to this image here, when you zoom in, how you could see all of the different constructs, like I was telling you before. Well,
Yep.
this was another one to articulate it. And actually, this is actually very similar to what the fifth heaven looks like. So, we have the first heaven, which is the earthly realm, and then you go up to the fifth heaven. It's actually very cathedral like as the fifth heaven. And this was me being shown the many different constructs all throughout creation that souls create, we create, or many different versions as well. And that was just me seeing the many different experiences. And you could say when you are out on the other side as a soul, you understand this. The other side, and it needs to be understood very clearly, is your true home. This is your true state. It is what you will return back to, and every soul's returning back to. And when you return back to that place, you essentially have the ultimate authority to experience everything that you possibly could imagine. The only thing that you will not be able to experience is if you cannot imagine it to be so. That's where you come from. That is your home. That is your station, you could say, in the heavens.